Hi guys, welcome back to my channel and welcome to today's video. So today we're going through a list of 6 books for 2025. I'm so excited about this list. I'll be talking about one book every 2 months here on my channel, and I'm so excited. My husband Gabriel helped me pick all of these books, and a lot of these authors, writers I already know and some I don't. But yeah, let's start with the book for January and February. So I will be posting the video in January, at the end of January. And the book is Travels with My Aunt by Graham Greene. I almost said Green Graham, but Graham Greene. This book was published in 1969. Graham Greene is a very famous writer. He is considered and seen by many as one of the greatest or one of the great authors, writers from the 20th century. So I'm very excited about this. My husband read this book last year and he absolutely loved it. And now he's reading The Heart of the Matter. He says it's amazing as well, but he said, I think you should definitely read Travels with My Aunt. It's fun. It's just an incredible book, and I'm so excited. And isn't this cover amazing? It's so beautiful. It's such a lovely edition. Yeah, I just am in love with this. I can't wait to start reading it. So by the end of January, we'll be talking about this one. Very excited. Let me just read the blurb for y'all. So Henry Pulling, a retired bank manager, meets his Aunt Augusta for the first time in over 50 years at what he supposes to be his mother's funeral. Soon after, she persuades Henry to abandon Southwood, travel to Brighton, Paris, Istanbul, Paraguay, and a shiftless twilight society of hippies, war criminals, CIA men that will help Henry come alive after a dull suburban life. So very excited about this one, and yeah, we'll be talking about this one by the end of January. So the book for March and April is a book by an author that I absolutely love. So I read George Eliot for the first time 2 years ago, and The Mill on the Floss was my favorite book of that year. So I'm very excited about this new one, which is Silas Marner. This one was published in 1861, and Gabriel also said it's amazing. So he also loves George Eliot and thinks she's the best. So just like me. In this one we have, okay, so wrongly accused of theft and exiled from a religious community many years before, the embittered weaver Silas Marner lives alone in Raveloe. Oh my gosh, I don't have my glasses anyway. Living only for work and his precious hoard of money. But when his money is stolen and an orphaned child finds her way into his house, Silas is given the chance to transform his life. His fate and that one of the little girls he adopts is entwined with Godfrey Cass, son of the village squire, who, like Silas, is trapped by his past. So Silas Marner, George Eliot, favorite of her novels, wow, combines humor, rich symbolism, and pointed social criticism to create an unsentimental but affectionate portrait of rural life. So if it's pastoral, count me in. I love, you know, those kinds of novels, and I love George Eliot, so I'm so excited about this one. So by the end of March, we'll be talking about this one here on the channel. So the book of May and June is by a writer whom I don't know. I've never read anything of hers before, but I'm pretty sure I'll like it. If Gabrielle likes it, usually I like it too. So I'll be reading The House of Mirth by Edith Wharton. And this book supposedly is one of her best works. So a black comedy of manners about vast wealth and a woman who can define herself only through the perception of others. The beautiful Lily Bart lives among the nouveau riche of New York City, so the new rich people of New York City. So people whose millions were made in railroads, shipping, land speculation, and banking. In this morally and aesthetically bankrupt world, Lily, age 29, seeks a husband who can satisfy her cravings for endless admiration and all the trappings of wealth. But her quest comes to a scandalous end when she is accused of being the mistress of a wealthy man. So, exiled from her familiar world of artificial conventions, Lily finds life impossible. So I'm very excited about this one as well. Some of my followers have mentioned Edith Wharton before, and she's supposed to be amazing. So I'm very excited about this book. By the end of May, we'll be talking about this one here on the channel. So the book for July and August is a children's book, actually, by Kenneth Grahame. So I'm talking about The Wind in the Willows. And I've never read this before, you know, it's just such a sweet book that I can't wait to read. And also, Gabrielle has been talking about this book for so long with me that I feel like this is, you know, it's past the time for me to read this. So I'm very excited. Let's check the blurb here real quick. Okay. Whether the four friends, a toad, a mole, a badger, and a rat, are setting forth on an exciting adventure, engaged in a comic caper, or simply relaxing by the River Thames, their stories are among the most charming in all English literature. So this is, like I said, the children's book, and it's like a gap that I have, and I can't wait to read it. So I don't really know anything of this book other than that it's just adventures. And well, now I'm used to it after reading Huckleberry Finn, and this year I will also be reading Tom Sawyer. But obviously it's not about that, but it's, you know, adventures and friends and, you know, animals, cute little animals together. Very excited. All right, so the book for September and October. It's a book that I've never read before, but it's by a writer that I know all too well. Stephen King. I used to be not obsessed with his books, but I've read a lot of Stephen King back in the day. And I tried to read some of his new books, and I didn't really like it. So I stopped for a while, but I have some gaps as well. And I think that this is the most important book of his career, probably, which is The Shining. I always try to read something spooky, you know, like a horror book in October or that period of the year. So I'm very excited about this. I love the movie The Shining, but I've never read the book. Jack Torrance's new job at the Overlook Hotel is the perfect chance for a fresh start. So as the off-season caretaker at the atmospheric hotel, he'll have plenty of time to spend reconnecting with his family and working on his writing. But as the harsh winter weather sets in, the idyllic location feels ever more remote and more sinister. And the only one to notice the strange and terrible forces gathering around the Overlook is Danny Torrance, a unique, gifted 5-year-old who is his child. So, yeah, this one was published in 1977. It was one of his first, and it's still one of his most amazing books. And I've never read that, but I've never read it, but I know that. And I can't wait to fill in this gap because, yeah, I really like Misery. I really like Pet Cemetery. I really like, what's the name of the other one? Salem's Lot. And I've read most of his old books, but with exception of Carrie, I think, and The Shining. But one day I'll read Carrie as well. But The Shining, I feel like it's top-notch. One of the best books of his. So I'm excited about that. By the end of September, we'll be talking about this one. So last one on the list, the book of November and December, is a book by an author that I mentioned in my favorite books of the year, best reads of the year of 2024, which, or who is Jane Austen. And I read Persuasion last year, and this year, was it last year? Yeah, last year. And this year I will be reading Northanger Abbey. So I've read Sense and Sensibility, Pride and Prejudice, and Persuasion, and I've never read the other 3 or 4 ones. But I'm excited about this one. So Gabriel says that this one is different and he thinks that I'll like. He's read all of them. But this one tells the story of a young girl, Catherine Moreland, who leaves her sheltered rural home to enter the busy, sophisticated world of Bath in the late 1990s. No, oh my gosh, 1790s. Austen observes with insight and humor the interaction between Catherine and the various characters whom she meets there and tracks her growing understanding of the world about her. So, yeah, this one was published, I think, in 1818. It was after her death, so posthumous. But this one, I think it's her 5th book, if I'm not mistaken. It was written a bit after Persuasion. But anything by Jane Austen I tend to love, so I'm very excited about this one. And I hope I like it as much as I liked Persuasion, but I don't know if that's going to happen because that book was just incredible and very beautiful. So let's just go over them again one last time. January and February, Travels with My Aunt by Graham Greene. March and April, Silas Marner by George Eliot. May and June, The House of Mirth by Edith Wharton. July and August, The Wind and the Willows by Kenneth Grahame. September and October, The Shining by Stephen King. And November and December, Northanger Abbey by Jane Austen. So I cannot wait to talk about all of these books, read all of these books, and talk to you guys about all of them. So yeah, thank you guys so much for watching, and I'll see you very soon.